Hey guys, it's Jay. So it's been a minute since I've been in front of the camera. For the past couple of weeks, I've been having some internet issues, but it got really bad over like the past few days, and it finally got fixed and stuff like that. So I can record and have no problems. So reason why I'm doing this video is because basically I was watching a reaction of BAP Skydive, and someone that was watching the video was basically saying that people should check out BAP and stuff like that. And then it also reminded me of like conversation I would have with Alex about some new K-pop fans just don't want to check out older groups. So I know there's a lot of new groups to keep up with, which I understand. And honestly, I was like that when I got into K-pop. Like when I got into K-pop, I only listened to like 5 people. So like Super Junior, Girls' Generation, FX, Tiara, and 21. And out of those groups, I only really followed or listened to their music like a lot was like 21, FX, and Tiara. Like that was it. So I was kind of like the same way until 2013, and then that's when I got into like a bunch of other groups like BAP, Block B, Big Bang, Beast, 4 Minute, Miss A, Teen Top, Infinite, SHINee, like just a bunch of other groups that I wasn't familiar with before. And I honestly feel like back in 2012, a lot of more international fans got into K-pop, and not even through Gangnam Style. Like, I mean, there's obviously a percentage of people that say like, oh, I got introduced through Gangnam Style, but there are a percentage that was introduced to K-pop prior to Gangnam Style, because when Gangnam Style had blew up, I was already into K-pop at the time. So, and especially like over the past couple of years, like more fans have been getting into K-pop and stuff like that. But I feel like it really got a lot of more international fans, especially like around 2015. Like 2015, a lot of fans just pretty much came out of nowhere and got into K-pop and stuff like that. But I really feel like this is for like newer K-pop fans that may have been into K-pop and maybe got into K-pop like 2014, 2015, last year, or even like sometime this year. Like I really feel that like newer fans should really give older groups a chance, because it's just crazy. Like especially last year when a lot of second generation groups were like just disbanding left and right, and I know a lot of people was like, who's Kara, who's 4 Minute, who's all these other groups that disbanded. They're just like, who the hell is that? And I feel like they're really missing out on a lot of great music. So what I decided to do is to make a new series, and I'm going to talk about a couple of groups that people should check out. So I'm going to go from 2012 into when I don't, until when I just decide I want to finish. So I'm going to start with 2012, and I'm going to talk about I'm not going to talk about every single group, because there were quite a few groups that debuted 2012. So I'm only going to talk about groups that debuted that year, and I'm going to talk about just give a little bit fun facts and stuff about the group, and what songs you should check out and stuff like that. Now here's the thing, before I start, I want you to know that this is my opinion. I can't reiterate that enough, because I've made lists before, like especially like last year, like especially with 3 specific videos when I did my like 50 handsome idols from last year, and people will be like, well, where's such and such, where's such and such. And especially when I made my videos on Madonna and Janet Jackson, are like my favorite songs of theirs, there was people like, where's this song, where's that song. Again, this is my list, this is my opinion. So if I choose someone you don't like, or if I don't choose someone you like, you're just going to have to deal with it. You can make your own list and go on about your business, but this is just, I really want to reiterate this, because this happens all the time. Like when people make these type of lists and people get all up in their feelings because such and such is on it or such and such isn't on it. Again, this is my list, this is my opinion, and just going to deal with it. So I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about groups that are active or groups that disbanded. But then thinking about when I get to 2009, a lot of the groups that came out 2009 have disbanded. But so I just go with whoever I feel like picking, whether they're disbanded or not. So, oh yeah, I'm using my iPad because my iPad is acting a little janky. So I'm only going to really pick about, I'm going to say about 2 groups that I feel like people from 2012 that people should check out. So obviously other groups that people know of course EXO and VIXX. Now had I done this list like a couple years ago, I would have added VIXX, but VIXX has definitely gotten popular since 2013, so I'm not going to add VIXX. Obviously I'm not going to add EXO. I'm not going to add AOA because AOA does have a good amount of like a huge following and stuff like that, so no AOA and stuff like that. So I would have done Newies, but I don't follow Newies like that, so I don't want to really add them. But I will say definitely check them out, especially now that they're on Produce 101 this season. So I would definitely say I would check them out, even though I'm not all that familiar with them. So I'm going to only do 2 groups. So the first group I have is BAP. So they debuted January 27, 2012. There's 6 members. They have released 2 Korean studio albums, 5 mini albums, and 6 single albums. Then they also have released a lot of stuff in Japan. They released several. I think they released. They're about to release their 2nd full-length album in Japan, and they've released about 5 or 6 Japanese singles in Japan so far. I think their new album is supposed to come out sometime in June. So yeah, and then the thing about BAP, they had a concept. So just like with EXO, they had EXO Planet. BAP had this concept where it's like the motto planet. So, or planet motto, and you know how like you see like the mottos, like every time you see a BAP album, you've never seen the members on the, oh no, I think only like I think the only albums I've ever seen with BAP on it is the Unplugged album and Put 'Em Up. That's the only album that I've seen the members on it. But like all the other albums that they release, you see like that like bunny, or like that's called the motto, right? So that's like their concept. So like you'll see like a red one, a blue one, a green one, a yellow and white one. Like they have their own individual character, and in the beginning, I don't think they do it now, but in the beginning they had their own like language and stuff like that. So that's just a little fun fact of like BAP's concept, like just like with EXO, and coming from EXO Planet, and like all the other members had like this different powers. It's kind of like the same concept, well, not the same concept, but they had like different kind of unique concepts when the group originally debuted. So that was BAP's. And actually in 2012, the biggest, like the most talked about rookie groups from 2012 was BAP and EXO. And before EXO-Ls, people used to call them exotics back in the day, because EXO didn't have a fandom name until a couple years ago. So it was babies versus what we called exotics, and they was battling out like all 2012 because EXO had this huge following leading up to their debut, and BAP had released stuff prior to debuting as well, which I will talk about. And come the Mom was around 2012, it was basically between BAP or EXO to win Rookie of the Year or Best New Artist, and they actually lost to Busker Busker. Now, who you are asking who Busker Busker is? Busker Busker is like a 3-member band that had came out in 2012. And they had, I think they had like a really popular song. I forgot the name of the song. It's like Cherry Blossom something, but the song was really popular at that time. and because the fandom spent so much time fighting, that both groups lost, and that's what they call now the term busker. So basically, like, when you think one or two groups are a shoe-in, and then someone comes out of nowhere and actually gets the award. So that's the term where the term busker came from. And BEP has won a total of 7 music shows. They won their first music show around early 2014 when they came out with their first full-length album. And like I said before about the members, prior to BAP debuting, Jungkook was actually the first to have a solo. He actually featured on Song Ji-yeon's solo song Going Crazy. She's in Secret, and he featured on her song, and he had his own song, I Remember. It was featuring there's 2 different versions of the song. So there's one featuring Yosa from Highlight or formerly Beast, and featuring member Daehyun. Now I'm trying to remember Daehyun. I think Daehyun was on the single and Yosa was on like for the video, if I'm not mistaken, or either or. But there's 2 different versions of the song, and also there's only been 1 subunit, but that was pre-debut, and that was with Jungkook and Zello, and it went by Bang and Zello, and they released the single Never Give Up back in 2011 prior to their debut. So BEP has done solo stuff, but since then none of the members have officially came out and done an official solo, but they have released solo songs. Like Jungkook has released a solo song, Zello has released solo songs, and recently Jungkook has a solo song on the Noir album, but none of the members have officially came out as a solo artist, if you get what I mean. Yeah, honestly, I feel like BAP, like, honestly, without trying to ruffle any feathers, but honestly, before BTS, it was BAP. Like, BAP came out the gate with, this unique debut. They were all blonde, and people were like, why are they all blonde? And basically just telling people know that they are all one. And they came out, the first few songs were very like hip hop and rock influenced. You can definitely hear it in like songs like Warrior, Power, No Mercy, stuff like that. But then 2013 is when they kind of they've evolved as a group. So you have songs like One Shot and Badman, and even songs like Coffee Shop, which was like a complete difference from their stuff before. And even back in 2012, they had songs like Crash and Stop It, which were more like upbeat, kind of cute, not cute, but like kind of like upbeat songs, which was what we weren't used to them prior to them releasing those songs and stuff like that. And then of course now recently we have like songs like I forgot the name of the title track, but it's from the Unplugged 2014 singles album, and of course like the Carnival album, which was a complete album that was just full of upbeat songs and stuff like that, which is something that was not the norm for BAP before. So yeah, but like I said, I definitely feel like before there was BTS, it was BAP. And of course we all know BAP, back in the end of 2014, they had their lawsuit against TS Entertainment. And after being gone for about like a year, at the end of 2015, they came back to TS, and they've been making music since then. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, so they're working on the music as we speak and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just a little lowdown on BAP. And I guess some songs I think you should check out is, of course, Warrior, their debut. I honestly feel like Warrior is up there with like Shiny's Replay and 2NE1's Fire of like the best debut songs, because debut songs can either be a hit or a miss, but I feel like just Warrior is just so perfect. Like, you don't even have to be a fan of BAP to know that Warrior was just an amazing song. But definitely Warrior, No Mercy, One Shot, which is like my favorite BAP song, Coffee Shop, 1004 or Angel from their first Sensibility album, Feel So Good, Fermata, and of course the recent come back with Wake Me Up. So yeah, like I said, it's just a little lowdown on BAP, and definitely check them out. You will not regret it. And the last group I'm going to talk about is BTOB. Looks like a movie. 모두 뻔해. 나도 그렇게 널 사랑하길 원해. 늘 새롭게 남자답게 내 모든 걸 가져도 돼. 내 시간은 너대로 흘러. 늦기 전에 나를 받아줘. 네 맘의 상처 아무는 대로. So BTOB debuted March 21st, 2012. They have 7 members. They have released 1 Korean studio album. They've released 10 mini albums. And they've also released 1 Japanese album and 6 singles in Japan. They've won 5 music shows. And they actually won their first music shows. After 3 years of debuting, they won their first music show, which actually broke a record, if I'm not mistaken, for the longest time that someone, like a group, had won a music show since debuting. I think I think before them was Block B, because Block B had won a music show until they had came back after the lawsuit with Stardom and stuff like that. So yeah, so they actually broke a record with that. And actually the members have done a lot of stuff solo wise. So Minhyuk and Sungjae have delved into acting. If I'm not mistaken, I think Sungjae was in Goblin, which was like a really popular drama recently. And I know Ilhoon has done some features with like Gina, another artist that was on Cube, and Hyuna, of course, with Wolf Deep, and Peniel, who actually has a YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had like a vlog, like his own like vlogging channel, like a vlogging channel on the Cube YouTube page, but I think he has his own YouTube channel. And there's actually a BTOB Blue subunit with the vocalist of BTOB. And recently, one of the vocalists, Chansup, actually debuted as a solo artist. So he is the first member from BTOB to have a solo. And yeah, so, and I know, and another thing to think about with BTOB is that they are hilarious. Like, they are so funny. Like, definitely, like, recently check out when Monster X had did their show Monster X-Ray, and I think it was like episode 4 or 5, and it was like kind of like a battle between Monster X and BTOB. So, because I know a lot of people really like BTOB, like with their like really off the chain. They're like hilariously funny. They're like off the hook. Like, I'm telling you, like, just look up on YouTube like BTOB funny moments, and it is really, really funny. And so yeah, that's just a little bit about BTOB. And just songs to check out is Wow, Second Confession, Thriller, Beep Beep, Way Back Home, Remember That, I'll Be Your Man, and the recent comeback with Movie. So yeah, that's a little bit about some of the groups from 2012 that I want to talk about that you should definitely check out. And then, of course, the next time I do this will be groups that came out in 2011, and then so on and so forth. So if there's a group that I did not mention that you want people to check out that came out in 2012, please let me know in the comments and all this other stuff, and tell me how you feel about this new series I'm doing. So if you like this series and want me to continue, please let me know. I would love you guys' feedback. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.